I want everybody to stand up. We're actually going to start out with a little bit of singing. All right.
I want to get you up and moving.
All right, everybody stand up. How many of you know the song, Hey Ho, Nobody Home? Some of you do, some of you don't. I'll sing it for you once. And while you are learning this, it's a three-part round. We will sing it in a round. I want you to keep two things in mind. What do you notice about our singing, or about yourself and about this, and what do you wonder? All right, the song goes like this. Hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. That's the whole song. So just repeat after me. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry.
Yes, will I be merry.
And hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. Good, now we're going to sing it in a round. So it's going to be a three-part round. We'll sing it once all together. This section will be going first, this section second, this section third.
Right.
And you're lucky you're not in my classroom at Cal State San Marcos, or you'd be up on the stage walking around doing this at the same time. So here we go, one time all together. And hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet will I be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, 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 hey ho, nobody home. Hey ho, nobody home. Hey ho, nobody home. Hey ho, nobody home. All right, you may sit down. We begin all of our boot camps with singing or playing. Keith, who's from the Music Center, and I often do something together when we do work together. I play saxophone. He plays guitar or charango. My name's Merryl Goldberg. I'm from California State University, San Marcos. And this is Caroline King from San Diego Unified School District. And I am going to be channeling Joe Landon, who was supposed to be on the panel with us today, but his back went out and he couldn't make it. How many of you know Joe? He's an amazing person, California Alliance for Arts Education, and without him, a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today probably wouldn't be happening necessarily, because he is one heck of a champion of arts education, arts integration. So I'm going to talk a little bit well, if you know Joe, you'll know that I would look about 1.5 feet bigger, and I would have a beard. But I'm going to do my best to channel him. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing, and that swing, it ain't fluff, it's foundational. And to start today, in addition to that quote, we always start with a quote. I chose another quote by an author whose name is, and I hope I say it right, Chinelo Akparanta. She's written Under the Udala Trees. Have any of you read that novel? It's a recent novel. She's won a lot of awards. And she was born in Nigeria, came here when she was 10 years old, and she's a champion of the LGBT community. And in light of Orlando, when I was thinking about a quote that we could read that would be kind of a forward, hopeful quote, I thought of a quote from her book, Under the Udala Trees. And I read it in light of thinking about arts, hope, moving forward, and kind of seeing a new way. She talks about her dad's name, which is Uzo. Uzo. It was the kind of name I'd have liked to fold up and hold in the palm of my hand if names could be folded and held that way, so that if I were ever lost, all I'd have to do would be to open up my palm and allow the name, like a torchlight, to show me the way. So that's a quote from Chinelo Akparanta from her novel, her recent novel, Under the Udala Trees. So with that, and in terms of kind of showing our way and moving forward, there are a few takeaways from our talk that I hope will help you. One is this notion of Title I. I'm also going to mention TPE's, Teacher Performance Expectations, a difference we talk about in terms of arts education, arts integration, and arts as text, as well as what we call a no-recipe professional development. And Caroline's going to talk a lot about what we're seeing in our project. By way of beginning, Title I, for those of you who don't know it, and this is Joe's part, channeling Joe. Title I is a program that's been in the United States since 1964. It's where federal money comes to your schools for high poverty settings. Now, many of the settings in your schools are high poverty, and probably many of them get Title I funding. The goals of Title I are academic achievement, school climate, student engagement, and parent involvement. When we look at what those four cornerstones are of the Title I program, it speaks arts, 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 right? And so one of the things that Joe has done quite a bit of, and I'm going to go back one slide, Title1arts.org is a whole website dedicated to Title I and the arts. Now, Title I, we don't want to talk about how we can use Title I money to fund the arts. It's not that. It's how the arts meet the needs of Title I, which is that academic achievement, student engagement, parental involvement, and school climate. This website that Joe and Laura Smythe and a number of people put together has a lot of information on it, including all the research to back all this up. And so you can, if you're in the 4th grade, go to elementary school, literacy, click a button, and all the research, vetted research around these areas comes up. And it's absolutely wonderful. You could go to high school math, and you click a button, research studies come on up. Our project in San Diego is using all Title I funds. The superintendent of the district, Cindy Martin, put aside $3 million of the district's Title I funds and said to Carol King, go make it happen. And Carol King came to me or other people even before her to say, please help us make it happen. One other thing I want to channel Joe about, which wasn't in the PowerPoint, but is going to happen on Thursday, and he was also very instrumental on this point, and as was I, the teacher performance expectations for all new teachers coming in through the state of California for what they need to learn in teacher education classes are being adapted and updated. They have been vetted for the last year, and as of Thursday, assuming that it gets voted in, arts integration will be a requirement for all K through 8 teachers at least, and maybe K through 12, to learn about in a teacher education program, as they will arts education. So prior to this time, we hadn't had arts education or arts integration called out. But it is now and will be. Okay, so quickly, our professional development in San Diego. We focus on defining the differences between arts education, arts integration, and arts as text. Arts education, and this is, you've heard boot camp. We actually have boot camps where we have 3-day boot camps or 5-day boot camps where we have teachers from 22 schools come together, and alongside of teaching artists, and we have a leadership team, teaching artists, district resource arts teachers, university expert, that's me, district evaluator. We come together, and one of the first things we do is we have people, we engage in being able to articulate what the differences are between arts integration, arts education, and arts as text. And very quickly, we define arts integration as a tool for learning. By the way, it's something that artists have done forever because art is not content-less, right? So arts have content. Arts integration is a tool for teaching and learning, and in our case, in other subject areas. Arts education is teaching about the arts in and of themselves. Arts as text is looking at, like what Shannon said in yesterday's talk, using pieces of art and reading them. Much like we read words in a novel, we read art. And in Common Core, arts as text is on equal footing with word-based. In our boot camp, we spend a fair amount of time doing all sorts of stuff. The one really important thing to note in our boot camp is that we have no recipe for the professional development. We treat each teacher as if they are a learner, like a learner in your classrooms or in your kids' classrooms, and each learner learns differently. So in our professional development, we shy away from giving them X amount of activities that they do and then learn and then can implement. We teach, rather, our teachers, we train them how to fish, invent their own ways to seek to learn how to teach reading through dance or theater, or how to teach math through movement. Because each teacher has a different way of doing it. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Carol. Let her talk a little bit about what we're seeing as a result of our work together, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, and I'm going to be very short and brief because Merrill has a little bit more in-depth information. So as Merrill said, I am over the Title I arts integration, and one of the biggest fears that a lot of schools and school districts were afraid of, how can I use Title I dollars to fund the arts, or arts to bring arts back into the school? And so one of the things our superintendent, looking at our quality schools in every neighborhood, was looking at our most impoverished schools, which were 75% or above. Free and reduced lunch is the threshold where we started, looking at those students who need to be met academically, but also looking at how can we take the arts, and through the arts, the students can learn the core content. So it's the core content, it's still, that is the meat, and the art is also the meat, and bringing it together, we're having a great meal together, and it's awesome. And so the teaching artists and the classroom teachers, I have 22 schools, they come together, 50 teaching artists, and I think it's over 200 teachers. They come together during the boot camp. The first 3 days is very intense. It's learning about arts integration. It's learning how to collaborate. How do we team together? How do we plan together? And getting to know each other as the artists and the classroom teachers. We're coming from this world of Common Core. They're coming from the art standards. And how do we make this a marriage, and how do we dance together very well? So we spend 3 days of intense just that. 2 days, the next 2 days, are on just writing their units. So the teaching artist and the classroom teacher together looking at the standards. The classroom teacher says to the teaching artist, I say to Merrill, in language arts, we are going to be studying Winn-Dixie. This is the book we're going to use, and this is the content, and these are the standards that I want to pull out of. We have a template. The teaching artist says, okay, if it's visual arts, and the schools, by the way, were able to pick whatever content area they wanted, from visual, dance, theater. Most of them did not select music because we have music programs in most of our schools in our 4th through 5th grade. So giving them that choice, the teachers had the choice. And with that, the teaching artists and the classroom teachers begin to start planning out the first 10 weeks of the lesson. That teaching artist is with that classroom teacher the entire year. So their first few weeks, they spend 2 days of intense. Then they have 2 hours every month, that the minimum, that they're paid. This is paid time. That they meet together with the teaching artist. They email each other. Sometimes they say, hey, I'll meet during lunch. Whatever it is, it's 2 hours a month to keep up with whatever changes are in the classroom, or just maybe some new ideas the artist might come up with, or the teacher might have tweaked a little something in the lesson, but they're working together as a team. So when I go in, and my colleague for the data collection, we're looking at teacher collaboration, we're looking at student engagement, we're looking to see if we're seeing the core content being taught as well as the art. Are they equal, and not heavy on one and not too heavy on the other? Are they truly collaborating, and the outcome are that the children are learning the arts as well as the content area? So with that, we're looking for building students that confidence, where they're looking at their work and it's building their confidence level. Students have began to look at their work in a different way, and that if I can do this in art, I can do this in math, I can do this in science, and there's no, there was someone that said something about wrong way, but we're not really grading the work. We're looking at, you're the artist, and everyone that walks into this classroom is an artist. You develop your piece, and we're building that confidence within the students. The teacher and the classroom teacher are doing this as a team. With that being done, at the end, we bring in our parents. The parents, because that's a real critical piece of also our parent involvement and being tied to Title I, is that the parents have to be a part of this. So the parents, we have parent art nights. The parents can come into the classroom with the lessons. And one of the requirements that through the grant is that every school has to do at least 2 parent art exhibitions a year. So they usually do one before they go out on winter break, and now we have a lot that I'm attending right now where they're doing, where the parents are coming to see their students' art. So with that, that brings in parents, so the parent involvement has increased immensely. Student engagement has gone up, parent involvement has gone up. Attendance is another thing we measure. Are the kids coming to school on the days that they have arts? And our preliminary data says, yes, they are. They do not want to miss the days that they have arts. Have the referrals gone down in the classroom? Absolutely. Students that normally would be sent out of the classroom, they do not want to miss their art class. And what's so surprisingly is they have no idea right now they're learning their core curriculum through the arts. So that is what we're building on, and I have like 1 minute left, and I don't want to take any Merrill's time. So we're looking at joy, coming to school, enthusiasm, risk-taking, confidence, collaboration, conferring, partnerships, celebrations, and we're measuring it with tools of our developmental reading assessment, the SBAC, and interim assessments and anecdotal notes. So we are looking at that as well to make sure that students are making the academic gains as well. So with that, I'm turning it back over to Merrill.
Just a few things to bring it back to the beginning. So the way we start our whole boot camp is with this, what do you notice, what do you wonder? And it is a wonderful way to get people to understand and dig in and start thinking about what is it that you noticed when you were singing? You know, what did you notice about others? Again, I usually do this playing my saxophone. I usually play a klezmer piece. I'm a professional musician. And what happens is, K through postgraduate, people will notice things like, wow, you know, you play, you move while you play. Or that sounds like, klezmer music is Eastern European Yiddish music. Kids will often say, oh my God, that sounds like Aladdin. And then they wonder who wrote it, who did this, and it brings up an amazing amount. Now, I do this with my university students, and this is, Carol knows this story very well. This work to me is phenomenally personal. Way back when a teacher asked me, Merryl, can you come into my class to enhance the study of our social studies unit? And I kept thinking, enhance, it made me kind of nuts, right? And I realized, which I think you might have realized when you were singing today, is that the arts don't enhance our lives, they embody our lives. Can they enhance? Yes, but they embody who we are, right? And so that was really fundamental to me. And the other thing is my college students, Cal State San Marcos, they're going to be teachers within 1 or 2 years. I ask them at the beginning of every semester to tell me about the arts in their lives, and I ask them to do that by making a collage. And the first thing that happens, and this has happened consistently over at least the last 6 semesters, is, Merryl, what is a collage? The second, I can explain what a collage is, and then they make it. That's really great. The second thing is they bring their collages into class, and I will tell you, the 3 most things that come up over and over and over as the arts in their lives are fashion, tattoos, and cars. I love my students. They are phenomenally capable. They are full of opportunity. They are going to be your kids' teachers in a year or 2, or, you know, many of my students have taught my own daughter. And these students haven't had the opportunity, and that's why Cindy Martin and San Diego Unified, and why Carol and I, and you know, we're so eager to get the word out on the stuff we do, because it's a matter of social justice among lots of our students. And when I see my college students, you know, and I think about them going out and being teachers, they're going to be great teachers, but they need that background. So one of the things that we are doing too is bringing some of our student teachers into the fold. So we just wanted to wrap some of that up as well. So I know we've gone a little bit over, so Andrew, I'll hand it back over to you.